Faylen Dreloth left the Imperial City for Morrowind, hoping to reconnect with her ancestors and serve the Tribunal Temple. Young and enthusiastic, she now seeks to remind the corrupt people of Narsis of their tribunal roots and become an example of piety, a living saint. When we last left Faylen, she finally recognized that to help others, she needed to grow in power and knowledge herself. It was for this reason that she decided to join the Narsis Mages Guild.
I am Diros of Eguame. I'm in charge of training the Guildhall's apprentices.
Hush! Look at you stomping and sprinting around. Can't you see I'm conducting observations? You'll frighten the rats.
My name is Ralsa Ondusi, Wizard of the Mages Guild. I am the acting head of this Guildhall in the absence of Archmage Isadora Bellet. You look like the sort we could use in the Mages Guild. Will you take the Mage's Oath and join the guild? The guild is dedicated to the collection, preservation, and distribution of magical knowledge with an emphasis on ensuring that all citizens of Tamriel benefit from this knowledge. You are now a member of the Mages Guild. Welcome, associate. Faylen learned that just about every member of the guild needed her help with something, and immediately started making herself useful. Owing no doubt to her interest in the alchemist's trade, she first approached Ophelia, who faced a rather peculiar problem.
There is a small matter you could help me with. I need a control sample of a Fortify Fatigue potion. My potions have been spoiling almost immediately. It's driving me up the wall. There's nothing wrong with my equipment or my technique. I'm starting to think it's the Guildhall that's cursed. I'd like to test it, but I need a quality potion of Fortify Fatigue that was brewed somewhere else. Bring me one, and I'll have a reward for you.
Naturally, Faylen visited the nearest alchemists and potion sellers, but none could fulfill Ophelia's particular request. After hours of unsuccessful searching, she thought to ask one of the locals for help. However, the man had his own woes, which he promptly shared with her.
Pardon me, but have you seen my mother around? Her name is Drelaim Aelin. You might have also heard people call her the Pot Lady. She's senile, you see. She carries around pots and treats them like her other children. As you might imagine, she can't take care of herself very well anymore. So it's very concerning that she's gone. I don't mean to impose, but you seem like someone who gets around. Would you mind looking for her?
Worried about Drelaim Aelin, Faylen was unsure how to proceed. Should she drop her task to search for the lady who might possibly be in grave danger? Fortunately, the next alchemist she approached had the appropriate potion. Faylen was able to focus only on the more pressing task of finding the lost lady before night came. A local guard told her that the Pot Lady had bought a ride out of the city. Faylen realized that she wouldn't be able to follow her until the morning and decided to stay the night in the temple. She prayed to the tribunes for help and read the Sermon of the Saints to lift her spirit and inspire her on her own path to sainthood. Only through the saints can one touch Amsivi. They have sacrificed their lives, and through their blood and tears they have made clear the paths to the divine. Through them, Resdaynia was made eternal. It is through the saints that Amsivi works. Amsivi has relied upon the saints for inspiration. Had not many sacrificed their lives, the prophecy of the coming of Amsivi would not have come to pass. Early in the morning, she hurried to deliver the potion to Ophelia before the control sample could spoil.
It is as I thought. The potion you brought me isn't spoiling any faster than expected. Whatever is affecting my potions must have happened recently, because my older potions are aging at their normal rate, just like this one, while the newer barely survive past the final infusion. It's the alchemical process itself that is being adulterated. Intriguing.
Ralsa Undusi gave her a small promotion, but told her that before going any further, she should meet the rest of the guild's members. Finding it hard to refuse, Faylen silently prayed to the tribunes, asking them to keep the lost lady safe before she could find her. Her conscience clear, she went to meet the rest of her new colleagues. The first was Scorn Lightkist, the local gardener, who had another small task for her.
There is something you could help me with. Are you at all familiar with hemlock seeds? I need a portion of them for the garden. We had one, but it died a short while ago after we harvested it. I need seeds from outside the hall. Tracking them down might give you some trouble, though. Hemlock is a Cyrodiil plant with a sinister reputation. It's often used to create deadly poisons. But I know someone who might know where you can find some, named Scritius Aretino.
On the rooftop of the guild, she was surprised to see a local wizard spring into the air, flying off north at breathtaking speed. The wizard's companion, Malvin Tinur, introduced himself as the creator of the famous jumping spell Tinur's Hoptoad, and asked her to partake in his athletic challenge. Since Faylen did not share his enthusiasm for the discipline, he at least asked her to deliver a scroll to an unsatisfied customer of his.
Well, there is something small you could help me out with. There have been claims that I'm putting my name on defective Hoptoad scrolls. It's frankly ridiculous. Defective? Hoptoad has been one of the guild's best-selling scrolls since I inscribed the first edition. But the buyer, Ilvana Omothan, represents the whole of farmers and laborers, and I want to keep her on side. So what I've done is I've enchanted a new Hoptoad scroll, personally, not through an apprentice, and I've dotted all the oaths and crossed the Yakams. Great care was put into this scroll. I want you to deliver it to her, along with my sincerest apologies.
Finally, she met the librarian, Knowledge Rando, who needed her help to look for a missing book.
There is a sensitive tome missing from the library. Would you care to help me find it? The book is called Dead Magic. It's a transcript of a lecture given by Archmagister Zodoris. That should be explanation enough as to why the book's disappearance could cause a stir. The last thing we need is the blades breathing down our necks, especially with Archmage Isadora on leave. Ask around. If you can't find the one we lost, another copy would work as well. We just can't have it missing from the archives.
Her journal full of tasks, Faylen walked across the city to the local caravaner who had taken Drelaim Aelin out of town. However, the man did not share her worry, assuring Faylen that Drelaim would be looked after by the people of Ship al-Sharai. Faylen promptly realized that she had no money to travel there anyway. In fact, she was soon to run out of funds completely. Somewhat relieved by the caravaner's words, she postponed the search yet again. By happenstance, the addressee of her scroll delivery was nearby. Faylen promised the woman that the scroll she was bringing would be a worthwhile replacement for the defective one sold to Nelvana earlier. So, Malvin Tinur sent you to make things right. Well, the last scrolls of his that I purchased nearly resulted in injuries, so this one better work exactly as advertised.
Otherwise I'll be taking him and your whole guild of mages to the measure hall. I'm going to test it now and jump up onto the roof of the hall here. If it works, then I'll send you back to ask Thirr to whip us up some more. Personally.
Faylen was horrified. Had she become an instrument of the mage's devious revenge? With tears in her eyes, she sprinted all the way to the mage's guild to confront Malvin Thirr. The spellmaker assured her that he had no intention to hurt Nelvana, and the scroll must have malfunctioned. However, rather than horrified, he seemed quite amazed at the potential of his spells. As a reward, Thirr shared with Faylen his knowledge of various jumping techniques. Faylen had no reason to trust his intention or his magical abilities, and decided to wait to test the spell in a safe environment before making regular use of it. In any case, Malvin's rewards were too intangible to let her purchase lodgings for the night or supplies, so Faylen immediately set about performing the task given to her by the guild gardener. She found the Velothi Tower and walked all the way to the 9th floor, where the supposed connoisseur of hemlock seeds resided. However, Critias Aretino denied any knowledge of this substance. His defensiveness led Faylen to think he might secretly be a poisoner. Since she wasn't willing to risk a violent confrontation, she promptly decided to leave and only come back when he would be better disposed to talk. Con Lightkist explained that Critias made his living as a bounty hunter, and encouraged her to visit him again. But with the sun coming down, Faylen decided to stay indoors for the night to practice her spells. She also took this opportunity to investigate the disappearance of the book from Knowledge Rando's library. Incredibly, the second person she spoke to, apprentice Cyrodiil Eloth, confessed almost immediately.
I suppose I should just confess. I took the book. I didn't think that anyone would notice it was gone. But I can't give it back. I didn't want anybody to see me reading it here, so I brought it with me when I went to practice magic in Shibal Shin. I was trying to calm a skyrender near Dupshal Hive, but the spell somehow frenzied me instead. I was inside of the hive, fist swinging, when I finally came to my senses and recalled the way. I dropped the book inside. It's all very embarrassing.
Faylen took note of the book's supposed location and directed her steps toward the guild basement. She was greeted by a masked mage operating a device unlike any Faylen had ever seen.
I am Anatolius Datus. I keep the Balrog running smoothly. It's a very involved job, so I would rather keep this brief. You're in. Good. Good. I'll take notes. I just need somebody to operate the Balrog's console. Here, take this key. Just insert it into the console and turn it. Then turn off the Oblivion Stream conduit and turn it back on. I'd do it myself, but I have to see it start up. If I turn it on myself, I wouldn't be able to see that. The wall and all? Safety protocols, they call it? Utter foolishness, but it's the reality of it. So I need a second to start it up. Now go ahead and do it. Please.
At first, Faylen was thoroughly confused, but thanks to Anatolius' instructions, she was able to perform the test he wanted. However, he dodged her every question as to the device's purpose, and instead quickly gave her the task of bringing him resources to repair the machine.
The rods are corroded? Oh dear. This won't do. It simply won't do. If it continues to operate this way, it would... well, never you mind. All you need to know is that it's very important that the Balrog is repaired. I can fix it, but to do so, I'll need at least 8 pieces of Dwemer scrap metal and 2 greater soul gems. So bring them back here.
But Faylen was tired after the long, eventful day. She reflected on her journey so far, from an aspiring servant of the tribunal to a mage apprentice, and she imagined what the future might hold. While she was getting more and more familiar with the theory and practice of the magical arts, she also faced constant hardships and struggled against her own powerlessness. Would she be able to become a living saint in the City of Sin? She closed her eyes and prayed to the tribunes so that she might help save Narsis.